and I work at the Central Stocks Unit.
Hi, I'm Steph from St Albans Library.
Hello, I'm Kerry and I'm from Hemel Hempstead Library.
Hi there everyone, my name's Steve and I work at Hatfield Library.
Hi, I'm Lana from Harpenden Library.
Welcome to Virtual Code Club.
This week we are looking at Boat Race. The aim of the game is to navigate a watery maze in your boat using your mouse.
You need to draw a maze and then code the boat sprite to follow the mouse and break if it hits the wall.
We're going to be using some of the skills that we used in previous sessions for this project, like timers and variables and sequencing.
This time we are going to use Boolean operators.
What are Boolean operators?
Boolean operators use true or false logic to give instructions. If a statement is true, then do or don't do an action. Like, if it's raining outside, then take an umbrella.
You will need to use the if-then block to make sure the boat crashes when it hits the wall and celebrates when it reaches the end.
Now, this game is fun, but we could add a few things to make it a little bit more interesting to play. We can add extra obstacles that make it more difficult to sail around, and boosters that speed up the boat when it touches them.
We can also add sound effects for crashing, zooming forwards and back.
If you're really ambitious, you could code a project to start a new level when you reach the end. Here are a few problems that you might encounter while working on this project, and some tips to help you if you get stuck.
The game doesn't reset after a crash.
If your game isn't restarting after the boat crashes, there are a few things that you might need to do. Make sure your boat is facing in the right direction so that it can start the race again. You'll need to code your sprite to go back to the beginning of the race to make sure it restarts. Make sure that your boat sprite has been coded to return to the original costume after it's crashed.
The boat isn't breaking when it crashes.
If your boat isn't breaking, make sure it's coded to change costume when it touches a wall. You can duplicate the costume, make sure you name it something you remember, and then use the tools to make the boat look like it has crashed. You'll need to code your boat to go back to the beginning after it is broken. And remember to change the costume back when the game restarts.
The boosters aren't speeding up the boat.
To make sure that your boat speeds up when it moves over the booster arrows, you need to code your boat to move more steps when it is touching the booster arrow colour. This boat moves 1 step normally, but moves 10 steps when it goes over a booster arrow.
The timer isn't counting accurately.
If your timer isn't working, make sure that your variable has been coded to increase by 1 every second so that it counts. You also need to code it to reset to 0 every time the game starts, or it will just keep counting up every time you play. You can find instructions for this project on the Code Club website at codeclub.org. Click on Projects and then click on Module 1. You can also find the instructions on our website using the bit.ly link bit.ly/hearts-virtual-code-club.
When you've completed your project, you can share it with your fellow coders, as well as try other coders' creations on our special studio on the Scratch website.
You can find our studio on the Scratch website by typing Hertfordshire Libraries into the search bar and pressing the magnifying glass. Make sure you click on the studios to find us. We hope you've enjoyed Virtual Code Club. This is our last video, but there are lots of different projects that you can find on the Scratch website, so make sure you keep coding.
Bye!
If you're interested in coding, as well as this Virtual Code Club, we have Vero Code, which you can use in your local library or at home at app.verocode.com. Xero has hundreds of coding tutorials and loads of real-world projects you can work on. You can code in blocks and HTML and JavaScript and Python and CSS and SQL. And you have an avatar which you can customise as you learn, completing workouts, missions and challenges, earning more gear for your avatar. You can get new bodies and hands and colours and hats. And you can code for real robots and computers like Makey and Raspberry Pi. If you compete in the challenges, you can win prizes like Q-Scouts or Spheros. And if you win them, Xero will post them straight to you. Top missions made by people just like you are featured on the top missions board, so you can see what other coders are doing all over the world. You can even remix them to make your own versions too. If your local library is running a Xero Code Club, you'll be able to access it using the Friends tab at the top of the screen. But you don't have to join a code club to use Xero. You can always log into the website and build something awesome yourself. If you would like to support our library service by making a donation, please visit our website or select Donate in the Hearts Libraries app.